The moment I stepped into the office, my manager spotted me, his face filled with anger. He marched toward me like a bulldog.
Charlotte, where the hell have you been?
I'm sorry. There was this pregnant woman being robbed, and I helped her. Before I could finish, he slapped me harshly across my face. I stood there, stunned, too shocked to even respond.
You think I care about your excuses?
He slapped me again.
You're late. You think you can just stroll in here whenever you feel like it?
I couldn't say a word. The rest of the office was silent, everyone watching, but no one daring to intervene. This wasn't the first time he had hit someone, but it was the first time it had happened to me.
You're fired. Get your things and get out. I don't need lazy idiots like you ruining my team.
I didn't know what to say. I felt numb. I don't think I'll ever forget that day, the day my life changed in ways I hadn't imagined. It all began on a normal morning, a day I was meant to be at work like any other. My job was nothing special, an average desk job at a company where I reported to an increasingly hostile and unreasonable manager. But even with that, I took pride in my work. I was punctual, never complained, and did my best to meet deadlines, no matter how unfair the demands were. My manager, though, seemed to always have a reason to single me out. It felt like I was his personal punching bag. There was that time I had stayed late to finish a report for him, and when I asked for a slight adjustment in the deadline, he laughed in my face.
You think I'm here to babysit you, Charlotte? If you can't do the job, maybe you should leave. We don't have room for weaklings here.
I remember blinking, not saying a word in my defense. There was no point. He was the kind of man who got off on making others feel small, so I just nodded and stayed an extra 4 hours to finish the work. No overtime, of course. He didn't believe in that. Then there was the time he caught me talking to a colleague during lunch.
This isn't a social club, Charlotte. You come here to work. If you have time to chat, I'll give you something more useful to do.
I wasn't even on the clock then, but again, I didn't bother arguing. He had made life miserable for others who tried. People talked about how he was always finding new ways to withhold bonuses or delay salary payments. Then one faithful day, as I was walking to work, something unexpected happened. I was about to cross the street when I saw a pregnant woman, maybe about 7 months along, walking ahead of me. She was alone, carrying several shopping bags, probably groceries or baby things. At first, it didn't seem like anything was wrong, but then, just as she was about to turn the corner, 2 men approached her. Their faces were covered by hoods, and I saw them eyeing her like predators sizing up their prey. They reached her before I could even shout a warning.
Get away from me!
One of them grabbed her purse and she stumbled back, almost falling over. I couldn't just stand there and watch. I ran over, not thinking about the consequences or the fact that there were 2 of them and only 1 of me. Hey, leave her alone. I barely had time to process what happened next. One of the men turned to me and swung his fist. I dodged the punch. I grabbed the other man's arm as he tried to snatch the woman's purse again, pulling him back with all my strength. There was a brief struggle, but soon, people nearby noticed the commotion, and the robbers panicked. They took off, dropping the purse and some of her bags as they ran. The woman was shaken, holding her stomach as she tried to calm herself.
Thank you so much. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't stepped in.
I nodded, out of breath, but relieved she was all right. It's okay. You're safe now. We called the police, and luckily, they arrived within minutes. The robbers were caught not too far from where they had run off, and they were arrested on the spot. The woman thanked me repeatedly as she made sure everything was accounted for.
I owe you. Can I at least have your name? Maybe your number, so I can properly thank you later?
I hesitated for a second, but gave her my contact details anyway. She insisted on knowing where I worked, which I found a little odd, but I told her the name of the company, and even mentioned my department.
I'll make sure to visit and let your boss know how kind you were. Take care.
I was happy I had helped her, but I was also aware that I was going to be late for work. My manager wasn't exactly the forgiving type, but I hoped he would understand once I explained the situation. I was wrong. The moment I stepped into the office, my manager spotted me, his face filled with anger. He marched toward me like a bulldog.
Charlotte, where the hell have you been?
I'm sorry. There was this pregnant woman being robbed, and I helped her. Before I could finish, he slapped me harshly across my face. I stood there, stunned, too shocked to even respond.
You think I care about your excuses?
He slapped me again.
You're late. You think you can just stroll in here whenever you feel like it?
I couldn't say a word. The rest of the office was silent, everyone watching, but no one daring to intervene. This wasn't the first time he had hit someone, but it was the first time it had happened to me.
You're fired. Get your things and get out. I don't need lazy idiots like you ruining my team.
I didn't know what to say. I felt numb. I had just been fired for saving someone's life. As I packed up my desk, I could feel the eyes of my coworkers on me, but none of them said a word. They were afraid, and I couldn't blame them. I left the office that day with a heavy heart. My manager had always been cruel, but this was a new low. I went home, devastated. What was I supposed to do now? How was I supposed to pay my bills? Maybe if I hadn't stopped to help, I wouldn't have lost my job. But no, I shook the thought away. I had done the right thing. 2 days passed, and I was still trying to figure out my next steps when I received a phone call.
Charlotte, it's me, the pregnant woman you helped the other day. Could you meet me at your company today?
I can't. I was fired, and I'm not allowed on the premises anymore.
Come anyway, trust me, just come.
I hesitated but decided to go. When I arrived at the company, I was nervous. What if my manager saw me? Would he have me thrown out? But when I stepped inside, the receptionist greeted me with a smile and directed me to the CEO's office. I wasn't sure what was going on, but I followed her instructions. When I entered the CEO's office, I was surprised to see the pregnant woman sitting there, smiling warmly at me, and beside her, the CEO himself.
This is my husband, and I wanted you to meet him because we found out what happened to you.
She went on to explain how she had inquired about me with the manager after our incident, but the manager had lied, telling them that I had been fired for being irresponsible. But that wasn't the end of the story.
Luckily, one of your co-workers told us the truth. In fact, several of them did. They told us about how your manager has been treating everyone, how he delays payments, withholds bonuses, and mistreats the staff.
We were furious when we found out. That man has been abusing his position for too long, and we're going to deal with him today.
They called a company-wide meeting and gathered all the employees in the main hall. I stood to the side, unsure of what was going to happen next. The manager walked in, his usual proud expression plastered on his face, but that quickly faded when he saw the CEO standing in front of everyone and his pregnant wife beside him.
We've received some disturbing reports about your conduct as a manager. Also, the day you fired Charlotte, she was in fact helping my wife. Your time here is over. What? These are lies. Charlotte was irresponsible. She lied. Oh, shut up. You've been mistreating my staff, underpaying them, and abusing your power. I have seen videos of you even physically abusing them. I should have fired you a long time ago. Now, hand over the keys to the company car.
The manager was shocked, but he had no choice. Under the watchful eyes of the CEO and all the employees, he handed over the keys.
You're no longer a part of this company. Effective immediately, you're terminated. Please, there must be some mistake. I've been loyal to this company for years. I made sacrifices. Enough. Your loyalty was to your own ego, not this company. You took advantage of the people who trusted you, and it ends today. Security.
2 guards appeared at the door.
Wait, Charlotte, you know me. You can tell them, can't you? I wasn't that bad.
I stared at him with anger. There had been so many times I had wished for this moment when he would finally get what he deserved, and now it was happening. I could still feel the sting of his hand on my face, the humiliation of being fired for doing the right thing. No, I didn't owe him anything. You treated us like dirt. And now you're getting what you deserve. Leave our company. The guards immediately grabbed him and dragged him out of the hall and the company. He wasn't allowed to take anything. It was a disgraceful termination.
You all did the right thing. We won't let someone like that hurt others anymore.
From this day forward, things will change around here. We're going to rebuild trust, and we're going to make sure everyone is treated fairly. We've been blind to what was happening, and for that, I apologize. Charlotte, I know you've been through a lot because of that man, and I want to make it right. You've shown incredible integrity and bravery, not just in helping my wife, but in standing up to injustice. That's the kind of leadership we need in this company. We'd like to offer you the position of manager. I think you'll do a far better job than that old fool.
I couldn't believe my ears. Me? A manager? It was shocking. But then I realized something. I had earned this. I had worked hard, endured hardships, and now I had the chance to make things better, not just for myself, but for everyone who had been mistreated by the previous manager. Yes, I'll do it. The employees clapped, some of them coming over to shake my hand, congratulating me on the promotion. It felt unreal. Just days ago, I was fired and humiliated, but now I am the new manager.
There's one more thing we want to do. We've been speaking with some of the employees, and we want to make sure everyone gets the back pay they're owed. We'll also be restructuring the bonus system to ensure fairness.
Everyone couldn't stop thanking them. I stepped into my role as manager, and everyone cooperated with me to make the company a better place. The former manager visited a week later and gave an apology to everyone in the company. Afterward, he called me and the CEO, requesting to be brought back in.
Since I've apologized, I deserve my position back. I can't imagine not working here, and I'm sure Charlotte knows that I'm a better manager.
That was it for the CEO. He got angry and slapped the former manager.
She's the best for the work. You can't compare to her. Now get out of here, and don't ever show your face here, or I'll involve the cops.
He went down on his knees, begging. I immediately called security, who chased him out of the company with dogs. Those who saw him running burst into laughter. It was quite a funny scene. Some even recorded how he ran, fell, got back up, and how his pants tore as he ran. Videos of him fleeing from the dogs were posted online, and kids made fun of him, giving him the nickname, the Dog Runner. That wasn't the last time I heard of him. The next time was 2 years later. He was now working as a receptionist at a hotel where I was having a meeting with some clients. I got to know that his wife and children had left him over domestic abuse. His wife had sued him and left with half his property. He was required to work because he was mandated to take care of his kids. My colleagues and I were leaving the hotel when we heard a loud noise. When we looked, it was my former manager. His boss had just slapped him. When he saw me, he quickly hid his face. I laughed loudly and walked past him. I would have spoken to him, but a man like him doesn't even deserve to hear my voice. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. We'll do our best to reply.